Hey now, how you guys doing? My name's David Bryan. I'm the Irate Hippie. So, continuing on with doing a video submission to complement the writings that I did on Facebook for the last 90 days. So, did 90 days of writing, and now I'm doing 90 days of video entries, and it's pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to getting into this. I'm only on day 3. I did a pilot episode, so there's four videos. Anyway, don't want to bore you to death. So let's say the topic for this was written on July 3rd, and the topic for the day was obviously Independence Day, where I was like, okay, and I was visiting friends in New Jersey at that point, so I was out of my element, on vacation, as they say, and was thinking about Independence Day. It was like the next day, and thought, it's just, I don't know, started thinking about Independence Day. Like, what does it mean? Independence, freedom to do what we want, right? And in America, in particular, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That is what we are guaranteed in America. Unless you're black. And let's be honest, like, that was true 250 years ago, and it's still true today. Like, we have not dealt with that problem at all. But yeah, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, as long as you're white. So let's talk about that. Let's break it down. What do I mean? Oh, here's another liberal hippie, an irate hippie at that, who is going to talk about like this and that and blah blah blah. Well, yeah, let's talk about it. So what percentage of, and maybe it's different where you live, but like I live in New York City, and I grew up in North Carolina. It's the same thing across the board for me. Really, honestly, anywhere I've been. What percentage of homeless people are black? %, 90%. If you live in a region where there literally are no black people, then of course anyone there who's homeless is going to be white. But, like you go to any urban center, like anywhere in this country, walk around, and what percentage of the homeless population is black? That's my question. Okay? So, and obviously it's a rhetorical question because you can't answer me, and also I have, I'm going to keep going. So, what percentage of panhandlers are black? Brother, can you spare a dime? That's episode number 2. What percentage of the prison population is black? What percentage of the service industry, specifically people who earn minimum wage, are black? Now, I know with that you have this whole phenomenon of white people serving food in restaurants. Well, because, white people don't want a black person serving them, some certain percent of the time. Anyway, so it's this whole persona thing. Like, what is the company wanting to put forward? Like, oh, let's get a pretty little white girl. Honestly, isn't that what it is? 80% of the time? Some pretty little white girl. Hey, she's going to come working for your tips, right? But she's like, hey, what do you want to eat? And you get to flirt with her, maybe leave your number on the freaking receipt, hey, call me. She's not gonna call you, dude. And I'm talking to those other guys out there because I obviously never did that. But the service industry in terms of food service, because crazy white people don't want to think about black people touching their food or making their food or preparing their food, although that's what they've been doing for literally 250 years. Like, that's what I don't understand with that particular point that I'm trying to make from these like bullet points. Like literally, like, they've been cooking your food, they've been serving your food, they've been cleaning up after you for 250 years, and you still have this like fear of like black hands or black hair. Like, hair falls, yes, white hair falls, black hair falls, brown, green, purple. You know, how many, like, we've all eaten, you know, you're eating takeout or, you know, it's like at a restaurant or a delivery or whatever, you know, like, come across it, like, blah, blah, blah. I'm not trying to get gross, but like, everyone's experienced it. So like, what separates the black hair from the white hair? Oh God, a black person's hair fell on my food. Well, you know, last week it was a white person's hair. So anyway, but apart from white people who are serving white people food because it makes white people feel more comfortable, what percentage of minimum wage workers are black? Right? You know, I don't know, man. Like, I would take the subway to go to work. I worked at the church on 50th and Park, so I take the subway down and I walk through Rockefeller Center, and they have this underneath area where there's all these restaurants and, you know, T-Mobile and, you know, gift shops and all that stuff. And it's so interesting, man. I like to walk past that place for 12 years because, like, the shops would always change. And, you know, any menial, just worthless, valueless, terrible task that everybody hates and would never want to do, they were all being done by black people. Okay? And then there's like, you know, then you get to like, then there's like the T-Mobile where it's like, or, you know, Metro PCS, it's like a phone shop. So it's like a step up from serving food or cooking food or having to say, would you like fries with that? Right? It's like a step up from that because there's no mopping at the end of the night. Maybe you have to like arrange the phones on the shelf so that they're like in a line and they look neat for the next crop of customers that come in the morning. So those folks are like, you know, slightly less black. I'm just talking about my own experience, but you know, it's not just that from Rockefeller Center. Like, I'll walk down Broadway. I've walked from here all the way to the south of the island. Stay in shape. Yeah. And you know, you can always know. You always know. You literally know who's going to be working in the establishment that you enter. So anyway, that was my question, was about minimum wage workers and what percentage of them are black. And okay, now let's look at Section 8 housing. What percentage of people who are getting Section 8 housing are black? What percentage of people who get food stamps are black? Now, this may surprise some of you Yankees, not Yankees, it's a completely wrong region. Okay, I got distracted by the music. You yahoos down in the South, you don't even realize this, because it's like, there's so many of you who are on food stamps as well. And there are probably white people living in the South who get food stamps, who have this idea in their head of black people getting food stamps, and it enrages them. And that just makes no sense at all. But I think you know what I'm saying. But even if not, I got off on a tangent anyway. I just wanted to point out of like all these percentages of the homeless, panhandlers, prison, blah, 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 and basically saying like life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness unless you're black. Okay, my main point is to say that like if you're not straight, white, and rich, then you're not in the club. Okay? Yeah, if you're not straight, white, and rich, you're not in the club, and you're never going to get in the club. Okay? And that club is eventually also going to be straight, white, rich, and male. Now, there may be a bunch of you women who, I don't know, down where, I don't even know where you live. Honestly, it seems like you're everywhere. People try to stereotype, and they try to base something on the region that you're from and the whatever, dialect you speak, your accent or whatever, hey man, how y'all doing? We're gonna go out and get some ding tacos tonight and drink some margaritas, right? And you hear that accent and you think, oh, I got you pegged. I know who you are. I know exactly where you're from. I know everything about you. Okay, so there are so many of you, like, all across the country, who for some reason want to give up your power to these straight, white, rich men. And they're coming for you. They're coming for you. I don't care what you believe. If you believe in, like, God or Jesus or Muhammad or Buddha or, Apple, they are coming for you. Check out The Handmaid's Tale. Read the book or check out the series on, I think it's Hulu, okay? That is where you're headed, okay? And you may be really comfortable being in the kitchen, preparing the food for your husband, because that's what a good wife does for her husband, right? And she answers to him, right? That's your next Supreme Court justice. Okay, there's my little political side right there. That's your next Supreme Court justice, okay? Anyway, eventually it's going to be straight, white, rich, and male. But for now, I don't want to get too far off track. I'm going to try to keep this 20 minutes. For right now, it's the straight, white, rich club, okay? So, and as I do for these, I'm going to read a little bit from entry number 3 in the Idle Janie journal. And so this is basically, it's to point out that, like I said, if you're not straight, white, and rich, you're not in the club. But that club is growing smaller and smaller because of, like, general population explosion. But also, like, those that have all the money that just want to, like, circle the wagons around that money, and they're going to circle it. Like, you're not going to get any of that money, right? Well, so they think, right? They're circling the wagons because the numbers alone suggest that it's just not gonna. It doesn't make sense the way it's going, and it can't go this way. This whole straight white rich dude club. So the haves. Here's the thing. All right, I'll do my reading now. So, like, the thing is, the movement, the have-nots are they're basically becoming more and more woke to the fact that the haves are calling the shots, right? The people that have everything, they're calling the shots. They've been calling the shots for years, and they are only working for themselves to have more. That is their only interest, period. They don't care about anything else. They just want more and more and more for themselves, okay? So, like, from public policy to law to economic policy to judicial decisions. To tax codes, to penal codes, to educational standards, to job interviews, to lending practices and decisions. Everything is stacked in the favor of a very few. But, like I said in one of my earlier posts, the number of haves is rapidly decreasing, and the number of have-nots is growing exponentially, especially during this coronavirus crisis. Now, here's my question. Do those in power really think that they're going to continue to get away with the status quo? Right? You honestly believe it's going to just keep rolling like this, no problems? Right? And that the rest of us just going to throw up our hands and say, oh, well, it's my lot in life. I'll just do this. Whatever you tell me to do. Just give me a bloody paycheck. I'll punch your time clock. Punch your face more like it. But here's the thing. A reckoning is coming. Maybe not tomorrow, but it's gonna happen. And then, remembering this is the post from July, this is the journal entry from July 3rd, when I was talking about Independence Day. Right? And then the real Americans are finally going to fully claim their independence. It's coming, brother, sister. So, yeah, so let's talk real quick about this. These people are going to claim their independence. So, as I see it, we have basically three groups in the running. Okay, if I wanted to, I don't know, man. If I owned a casino, I'd probably start a bet on this. Okay, like who's gonna win. So you got group number one is the circle the wagon group, right? Your straight, rich, white people, and eventually, like I said, straight, rich, white men. So that's group number one. And they I don't know what it is that they're doing. It's like I just can't figure it out. It's the brazen preposterousness of like everything that is coming out of their mouths currently. And maybe they're just feeling they're probably high on their money. Because, you know, when this coronavirus thing happened, like what percentage of the people went out of work? Right? Back to percentages. Okay, black people, most of them went out of work. Guaranteed. Yeah, there's a few tokens here and there, but like, come on, dude. Like, those are the people that are hurting. Those are the people that are not getting checks as the the House and the Senate just, you know, cannot find a way to adequately communicate with one another in a way that might be beneficial to the general populace of the country in order to keep them from starting a bloody revolution. So that's what I'm saying. I don't get it. You know, these, and I'll get to this in one of my future posts because I know I wrote about this. I wrote about the salary of senators. But yeah, the amount of money they make, like per hour, like wow. You know, I mean, it's not like, you know, millions and millions of dollars, but it's way more than minimum wage, and they're directly impacting the lives of the people who are used to make minimum wage, but now don't make anything because of a virus that is out of anyone's hands. Okay, so that's group number one. Group number two, I'm probably going to run a little bit past 20 minutes tonight because I'm already at 17:30. Probably going to be like 25, I don't know. But I'll keep it short, don't worry. Group number two, so group number one, the rich white, you know, straight rich white people. Group number two, the Karens, right? We all heard about the Karens. And the Kyles. Sorry, Althea, I just scared the cat with my machine gun, because that's what machine guns do. They scare cats. So why do we need them? Can we just use pistols or slingshots? Or, you know, for a change, even the playing field and step up with your fists drawn. Because, like, what is this gun BS? Oh, I can shoot you. There's no power in that. There's just insecurity and I don't know, man. It's just, I don't even know what to say. I'm going to write about that soon so I can figure out what I would want to say. But anyway, your Karens and your Kyles, that's group number two. And the thing is that, like, the Karens and the Kyles, so let's say that group of straight, rich, white people was the 1%. As, you know, Bernie Sanders made that phrase very popular, 1%. And I think we could all get on board with that, because, like, we're all struggling. So they're the 1%, okay? And then you got, like, okay, let's do the Karens and the Kyles. That's like 4%. And the Karens and the Kyles feel like they belong in the 1%. It's like they think that they're in the club. Like the whatever machinations that the 1% have done, they have convinced this 4% of the populace that they're part of the club. Maybe with, you know, I don't know, appealing to their racial purity. Yes, that's what Trump has been doing. If your news source is not telling you this, then you need to get a new damn news source. Trump is now talking about racial purity. And if that doesn't sound familiar, then maybe there's no hope for you. But if it does sound familiar, then we all need to be incredibly concerned. And simply by making this video, I'm probably going to be at the top of the list of those, like, bag over the head, bat on the head, like dragged out and like thrown in some detention camp somewhere. So be it, man. I've had a great life. If that's how I live out my days, because I was dissenting and like speaking my piece in a land where supposedly you're allowed to like say whatever you want, like free speech, right? Do you really think that you get free speech? Anyway, that is a separate question. Okay, anyway, that's group number 2, the Karens and the Kyles. Group number 3. So you got your 1%, your 4%. Do the math. That leaves 95%. 95% is everyone else. It's like, it's the protesters, it's the hippies, it's the Black Lives Matter folks, it's the Pride, LGBTQ plus, it's immigrants, it's people that are just struggling to get by, who don't somehow identify with oh man, it's a brilliant plan. How did they do it? Like, because now that I think about it, like out of that 95%, there's a lot of really poor, down and out white people in like rural Appalachia who identify with the 4%. They're not even trying to like, imagine themselves with the 1%. Like they know they're not in that club, but now the 1% has somehow massaged this 4% to get them like a puppet master, right? So with this 4%, it's like they're saying, okay, say this. This is the phrase du jour. Okay, yeah, we're definitely going to 30 minutes. Sorry, I broke my promise, man. These may end up being an hour and a half. I don't know. But if you're still watching, then I don't hear any, anyone saying I should stop. Controlling, like, these are the words that you should say. You should say these in public. You should print these on social media. Like little catchphrases, like, I don't need to go through them. They're out there. If you don't know what I'm talking about, like, write me, comment on YouTube and I'll respond. I'll respond to anything. But so just convincing the 4% to join. Yeah. Okay. I'm getting off track again. So these people in the 95% think they're part of the 4% because they just identify with that, shall we say, racial purity. Right? There's a racial purity going on. And there's a lot of folks in that 95%. So maybe the protesters are outnumbered. Maybe your side's going to win. Your side's definitely going to win. You got the most guns. Let's be honest. That's another topic for another day. I've written about all of this stuff, so I'll get to it. But so you have the straight white rich people. You have the Karens and the Kyles. And then you have the protesters, the hippies, the Black Lives Matter, the Pride, immigrants, and basically everyone else. Like minus whatever negligible amount of people want to identify with that 4% who are doing the bidding of the 1%. But they're literally, they would not allow you in their house. I'm talking to you 4% right now. You think if you go to the senator's house and you're like, hell yeah, man, we gonna dang get our arms up and go out and shoot the damn boop. I'm not gonna say the word because I hate that word, and I'll get to that later as well. But I grew up in that shit. It's North Carolina. You think you show up at the senator's house, who's been saying the same things that the president of the frickin' United States is saying? You think they're gonna invite you in for tea and scones? So that's the thing. So back to the original post. I'm going to keep this under 30. I'm going to wrap it up. Back to the original post. Independence Day. Somebody is about to claim their independence. From what is very different depending on who you ask. From an objective point of view, which I think I'm fairly decent at doing, from an objective point of view, there's this like 95% of the American population like are together, and we all experience the same thing, and it's like we're just decent people who wanna be an American, like all those. And the life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and all that stuff that we talk about in those founding documents, and freedom of speech, and freedom of religion, and freedom of... Oh, there's a lot of freedoms. It's getting late. But y'all know what I'm saying, though. Basically, someone is going to claim their independence. We got these three groups vying for independence. It's like, one of them's going to claim it. I'm going to put my money on the 4%, if I were gambling man. So I guess that's where I wrap it up. And I say, yeah, if... we have the music back. I would hope in my heart that this 95% of people would somehow, like, finally... find a way to come together and just recognize their sheer numbers. This is very seditious stuff now, it's sounding like, so I should probably definitely end this. Otherwise I'll end up in jail like within a week. Come together and like just recognize like the common struggle. Because like that, we have this common struggle, and then there's like 4% of the people who have their common struggle, and their common struggle is that blacks are black. I don't know any other way to describe it. It's like they're not coming for your jobs. They're not coming for your women. They're not coming for your garden. They're not coming for your dog. They're not coming for your, whatever. They're gonna take your weather vane or like run off with the flag off your porch. I don't know. Like, but it's just this fear of blackness from this 4%. And the rest of the 95%, like let's be honest, like everyone is aware of race. I'm not saying everyone is racist. Some people make the claim like, oh, everyone is racist to a certain extent, like just a little gradient here and there, blah blah blah. Like, I don't agree with that. I don't think everyone is racist, but I think everyone is racially aware. It's unavoidable at this point in our country's history that you're going to come across somebody and not immediately ascertain what their race is. But you know what? You don't even know. Like, that's the thing, is like people, especially this 4%. Okay, here's my 4% again. I may go for 35 minutes tonight, folks. I don't know. What you perceive as race is based on what you're seeing with this, right? Your eyes. Which, like, imagine if you were blind. Like, how would you even, like... Helen Keller was rolling in her grave at the fact that you're looking through your eyes and you're looking at the color of skin and you're saying you're black or you're white or you're brown. Like, I mean, God, how many colors are there in the spectrum? And like your mindset, you 4%, and some of the 95% at different levels, different gradients. Definitely the 1%. The 1% definitely knows who's black and who's not. Like, because they have the papers, papers, tracking. They know. Everybody knows. Everyone in the 1% club knows. And if you have, because that's the thing, it's not about skin color. It's about blood. You can't make it about skin color. You can't change overnight and be like, oh, our whole racism thing, it used to be about blood, purity. Now it's just about skin color. Because these people over here, they're really nice. These white people, maybe you've like maybe you've warmed up to gay people because there have been a few gay characters in these TV shows that you watch at night when you go to bed, and you're like, oh, he's so cute. I used to have a problem with gay people, but I don't anymore. You know, maybe gay people are okay. And, you know, and to be fair, like, society has shifted in favor of gay people being counted also as, like, 100% human beings, right? And, you know, and maybe, just maybe you saw, what was that movie, The Help? And you saw that little old black woman, and she was so sweet, and you felt for her, and maybe you even have now a bit of a, you know, you're okay with black people, but these protesters, these Democrats, it's just a shifting target. They're just moving it around. The 1% are telling you who to hate, when to hate them. And soon, they're going to pull strings, and they're going to say who to shoot and when to shoot. Please, people. I don't know what to say. Just search your soul. Search your soul and figure out. Don't try to figure out which of those groups, that 1% or the 4% or the 95%. Don't try to figure out which group you want to be in. Sure, we all want to be in the 1%, right? We all want to be rich and have 7 houses and 6 cars, and we can travel anywhere in the world at the drop of a hat, right? Running a Fortune 500 company, got you a pinstripe suit, having 3 martini lunches. Shit, I come from old money. That's an interesting point. I should write about that, and then I can talk about it later in a video. Old money versus new money. We all saw Titanic, the unsinkable Molly Brown, right? New money. Oh, at that point, it's not even about whether or not you have money. Then it's about like, oh, is your money something that was inherited from like 500 years ago, from like literal slavery, or is it you just have money? Because like, I guarantee you, man, like I wasn't there on the Titanic, but I saw the movie, and like I'm pretty sure that's how it is. Old money and new money. Otherwise, the phrases wouldn't exist, right? Anyway, so like even if you make it into their club, they're still gonna like, I don't know, they're gonna talk about you behind your back. Like, you can't throw her out because she's in the club. I don't know how she made it. You know, maybe there's like a back door that nobody checked. Like, yes sir, I knew there's a door back there, but I couldn't find the key. I lost the key, so I just left it unlocked, like unlatched. Like, I figured nobody else knew about that door. Like, who's gonna try to break in here and steal our merchandise? Like, you make it in their club, like, doesn't even matter, man. Like, okay, so anyway, I'm getting off track. I'm gonna stop this, but I've had a good night, and I hope you've enjoyed watching this. If you're still watching it, you obviously have. And check out my writings, the Idle Janny Journals. They're tagged everywhere. I'm cross-referencing, man. 90 days of writing, 90 days of videos, and then I'm gonna do 90 days of songs. I'm gonna write a song for each entry. And if you go to my blog page, david.com, you'll even see photos. I've curated photos to go with each entry. And it's a lot of entries. And I have a lot of photos because I've done a lot of traveling. Because I am educated. I'm worldly. I'm gonna sign off now. So hope to see you guys again. Be good to one another.